everybody wants a new experience. Everybody wants their partner to change. What Loving Sober is about how to completely reboot our experience of the relationship. And there are two tracks that this happens on. The first and the most fundamental is a common spiritual practice. Now, we all get to the point where what we do is we allow our perception of who our spouse is, or our partner is, to completely distort our daily experience of them. He's always this way. She never does this. We could increase the list ad infinitum. So the way that we do this is, and the great tragedy that I saw, and the whole reason that this book happened is I've had the good fortune to be with thousands of women and men in different retreats and different types of settings where we had honest conversations. And there was very, very rarely, almost never, a common spiritual practice. Now, people may go to church each week together. They may go to different groups or fellowships, but to receive information, but they never took the information and had an experience of it together. So the fundamental way that what we do is that we change our experience of our partner is that we remember who they are by thought, word, and deed. The most important thing is to meditate together 5 minutes every day. Because this approach is based in spirit. It is spiritual. It is not a mental practice. So when you say, well, how do I? Spirit will do it. But spirit can't enter a closed fist. So what I have to do is I have to open myself. And actually, we have to open ourselves so that we can have a new experience together. How do we do that? We get a couch or someplace where a couple of chairs where we can sit together quietly. And this is the most important thing that we do every day. That we spend 5 minutes. And we get our smartphone and we put the Insight Timer app on it so that we got a timer that'll keep the time so we don't have to keep thinking about it. That's really nice. It's got a little gong and all that stuff to it. And we sit and we read a piece of spiritual truth. I'm a great fan of Rumi, the Persian mystical poet. And in fact, I actually send a poem out every day to people who wish. That helps folks to have something to look at, read to each other. And so you read that, and then you set the timer for 5 minutes and you hit it, and you just close your eyes and you sit there. Now, in the postmodern era, you always have time for this. People always say, well, I don't have time to meditate. You can be 5 minutes late to anything.
And it's still fashionable.
Yeah. So, right. I'm not going there at all. And so we sit there for 5 minutes. Now, the other thing people say is, well, my mind's busy. I can't meditate. Everybody's mind is busy. Our Buddhist friends have been doing this for over 4,000 years, call the beginner's mind the monkey mind. Not because it's cute and furry, but because it screeches and jumps. So you just know that that's part of it. If you know that if your mind is busy, it's working. This is not something to be resisting. And you sit there for 5 minutes. Hopefully you can actually put your hand, I put my hand on Adele's thigh and just rest it there. And what happens is a communication that goes beyond our conscious mind. I have an experience of her beyond my conscious mind. The days that I do this are very, very different. You'll find out after just a few short days, maybe 2 weeks, that on the days that you do this, that you won't forget who they are in the same way you do days that not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many times does John end up getting treated like your dad?
Oh.
And nobody should be treated like your dad.
All right.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing is we've got these groove behaviors. So, and then when the 5 minutes is up and the timer goes off,
Mm-hmm.
I really like the St. Francis prayer because it is specific in intent and response.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do is you take it and you read it back and forth responsorial to each other. So in other words, I'll look at Adele and I'll say, Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. And she'd say, and where there is hatred, I'll say, let me sow love. And then you go back and forth like that. So what happens is I'm stating my intention for the day.
Okay.
And through that, my experience is different. And then we get up and we kiss and we go out into our day. Now, I don't know anybody in relationship that doesn't spend a minimum of 12 minutes a day going around and around and around and around about what she and he and who is or is not doing. And actually, it's exponentially larger than that. Mm-hmm. But I'm submitting to you that if you take this 5 minutes, maybe 8 minutes, and actually do this for 30 days, that you can have an entirely different experience with your partner. I don't know anybody who's done this that things don't change fundamentally. And this is just one of the practices that we will go through in this loving sober when we do this together. So it's a way that, and this was something that just organically happened in Adele and my life, that you know the results were so incredible that once we started sharing it with people, that it was something that works marvelously. Mm-hmm. And all we're really doing is going along with a certain piece of spiritual literature that says, if circumstances warrant, we ask our wives and friends to join us in morning meditation. Now, I know you're a very nice woman, Cindy, and you probably never have had a warrant, but they're fairly serious.
Right.
If you've had a warrant, you know they're fairly...
they're pretty urgent.
We're not talking about something mild here.
Right.
So again, it's a thing of doing it. Mm-hmm. And this does not mean that there is any religion, any spirituality, any fellowship, any dogma that has to be agreed with or anything. This is an experience. Mm-hmm. This is an experiment. This is an invitation to an experiment. And if you do these things that are in the loving sober experience, you will have a different relationship.
Define different.
Freed from your past.
Okay. All right. That's something to meditate on there. I've just found that by doing that work, it just brings up, my eyes twitch and think about it, but it just brings up a whole level of, what's that stuff? Where'd that come from? Mm-hmm. Did that happen to you?
Well, yes. I mean, you have to remember that I've been really diligent about my practice for a long time. Mm-hmm. So this stuff comes fairly natural to me. But it's like anything in the beginning.